I met Robert. I think I met Robert 40 years ago, and the stories I could tell you would blow your mind. They were all good and exciting. I met Robert one day. I was in title insurance, and I came walking through the office, and Robert, his mom asked me, "Hey, he sees you all excited walking through here all the time and doing this." He goes, "He wants to know how to get into this." And I said, "Well, let me talk to him." So we sat down, had a cup of coffee. Next thing I knew, he came to work with me, and we became partners in crime. And I took on a territory, and we grew, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and we ended up taking from 0% to 25% market share in all of San Diego and in the area we were at. And then I ended up becoming the manager, and Robert took over the whole territory, and yeah, we just grew it from there. And the business side of it was so much fun. And title insurance for 25 years is
Damn
my
it. Yeah.
background.
No, I hear you. That and it's I tell you what, it was awesome because I remember I was working in my mom's real estate office. Literally, I'd have to go to my mom's real estate office when I was 10 years old because
Yeah.
when she go to the office, I had two younger brothers and I was always messing with them and causing a lot of grief. So I'd have to go to work with my mom at the real estate office. Fast forward, I'm delivering termite reports, the MLS book, and mail. And then I see one day this guy comes jumping out of this convertible, all dressed, all nice, had no clue what he was doing. I said, I want to do that. I don't care what it is. So come to find out, it was a long, long relationship after that. Chris was in my wedding 36 years ago. So that if that
Oh,
tells you any kind of
wow.
background, I wanted to at least start there. So with that said, let's tell everybody who's Chris Heermans.
Well, I started in this business, and I'm a sales guy, thick and thin, man. I mean, I don't care how you think of it, how you slice it. I've been in sales. I went to Orange Coast Title, and I was moved from sales rep to 0% market share to 25% market share. I grew. Fidelity National Title came after me saying, we want to hire you, and I'm like, I'm loyal. That's another thing about me. I'm super loyal, and I got to go to work with Fidelity and years later, and when things happened at Orange Coast Title and grew there, I was the sales manager at Fidelity, became the vice president. Then I went into special projects for them, working with everything foreclosure. And so I started working with all the foreclosure agents and the biggest auction houses in the country. So think of a guy walking in that's fresh off the street, and he can pick up the phone and call a billionaire and say, "Hey, my name's Chris Heermans. I'm calling for Bill Foley, the owner of Fidelity National Title, which was a $20 billion company, and say, hey, there's 100,000 properties are hitting the market next month, and we'd like to put up $500 million and have you put the other $500 million up, and we'd like to merge with you. We want all the title and escrow. You can have all the sale outs and all the mortgages, and we'll just split the profits down the middle." Next thing you know, you got people picking up the phone, and that's kind of how I've done my whole life. That's kind of a nutshell of my career, my life. It's always been figuring out the way to do something that nobody else knows how or can figure out, or come up with the story to make it work. And so I started doing this and kept doing it and kept doing it. And then I ended up, I was married with four beautiful little children, and I got left with four little children. And I had a 1 year old, a 3 year old, a 7 year old, and a 10 year old. And those little children, I couldn't leave them alone. So I ended up retiring from Fidelity to raise my children. I've been living in La Jolla for 27 years, and I just raised my kids all by myself. And I was Mr. Dad, doing all the cooking, cleaning, grocery shopping. I could have hired all the nannies in the world. I mean, to give you a quick background, I ended up selling a house for 4.5 million at the beach to and moved them into my other houses at the beach in San Diego or in La Jolla. And the only reason I'm telling that story is just to let you know that I had a lot, I did a lot in my career, I made a lot of money, and I enjoyed it. And I spent a lot of it on my kids, and my time went to them. I could have afforded anything, but my time went to my children. And I think one of the most important things in the world you can do is, if you have children, raise them properly, teach them the right from wrong and enjoy life. And so I ended up doing that. And in the middle of that, I decided I'm going to start a company. And so pretty soon I'm sitting here thinking about, I'm connected through all these foreclosures and all these banks and all the people they had. So then the next thing I know, I had Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, Wells Fargo, Goodman Dean, Bank of America, all the biggest banks in America. I started doing all their foreclosures in San Diego, renovating. And so I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, okay, I got to get a contractor's license. So I went out and got a contractor's license. Next thing I know, I'm doing hundreds of properties in San Diego over the next 7 years. From 2009 to about 2015, I was just doing complete remodels. And these are all, I don't know how many people I've ever done a remodel. Anybody out there? Raise their hands, done a remodel, done it. So I used to do what I called lipstick on a pig. And I don't know if that offends anybody. I hope it doesn't. But, and the story of my end, it's kind of like we would just do back in the day for them. They wanted carpet in, paint on the walls, new appliances. And if there's a broken light fixture, fix it. Get in, get out. So I could do a condo in 3 days, literally paint it, carpet it, appliances, and get in and get out and fix it. And so then I could do a house depending on the size. If it was under 2,500, 4 or 5 days. If it was 3,000, I could do it in 5, 6 days. And I could do properties. And I started turning these properties. And they were giving me property. I did hundreds of properties, saw thousands of properties over that period of time. So the renovation side, I got to know really, really, really well. And that's something I think we're going to talk about today. For any of you that might be interested in the renovation side of things, that's something I want to kind of address with everybody and go over. Is there anything specific you would like to hear?
I do. That's a perfect time. I know that Coach Kathy Ryan on the call had a question, and I'm sure it relates to what you just covered. So, Kathy, go ahead and ask Chris your question.
Actually, I didn't. I don't know how my hand got raised.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Okay. Well, Kathy, I know you and I've been in business quite a long time. We've had our fair share of that type of product. The fix and flip. And
the fix and flips.
Yeah. So this is what I'd like to say. Chris, tell us who's your perfect agent? I mean, what are you looking for in an agent? And what's that? We'll go into the buy box. We'll go into all the real parameters on how agents can work with you. They work in concert with you when they're on whether it be their listings, whether it be a property that's coming up that maybe is banged up, that would be perfect scenario. Now, it doesn't have to be banged up. It just needs to be dialed in eventually, right? So, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect condition at the end.
So think of my client, the people, and anything to look for when you're going to get a property. It could be off market. It could be a for sale by owner. It could be a wholesaler that brings this thing in. It could be just a friend. I find things on the MLS, even Google Earth. Believe it or not, you can go up and look on Google Earth. And if you see something that doesn't look really good, you can go to an area and blow in on it. And you can pull that property up and take a look at it and go knock on the door. The sweat equity is one of the hardest ones to do because people don't like you knocking on their door, but that's another way to do it. Divorce, financial, death, evictions, hoarders, events. There's so many different things that could bring these transactions. But when it comes to real estate agents, every one of you and anybody, I don't care if you're a lender, if you're an investor, if you're a real estate agent, think of me as a buyer in your pocket on every single listing, on every single place you go. When you walk into a property, you have a buyer in your pocket because we have pure cash. We could close in 5 days, no contingencies, and get the deal done. It just has to all work out in the right fashion. Everything starts with the comp. No matter what it is and where you look at any property, it all starts with the comp. What can we sell that property for when it's like a brand new property in that area? What's the price we can get for that? So those are the things we look for when we go after that.
And now, Chris, I do know that a lot of times investors are known for like Open Door and Offer Pads, and those guys, they're spending a lot of money on trying to get direct to door. So it would compete with that type of product, right? Anyone that wants to sell a home, whether it's completely banged up or needs just a little bit of TLC, but you're looking at, it doesn't really need TLC, I guess is my point. You're looking for any properties though. You're not afraid of the tough ones is my point. So tell us about that. Let's dive into the dog with the most fleas. Say you get that property, it's boarded up, it's falling down a hill. What would you look at those properties?
Absolutely. And so if you think of Dictionary Hill, that's just the area that's known for crack slabs. And people a lot of times shy away when they see a kind of a slab that's, not quite correct, or it's cracking apart.
Mm-hmm.
We will literally go in and lift the house up and take the entire slab, jackhammer it out, and put a new slab in and put the house back down. We will go in and scissor in whatever we need. That's something that most people do not want to even think about touching, much less touching.
Yeah.
So I always tell all of you, anybody out there, if you see these properties, call me, have me come out and take a look at that. Anytime that you get into a property, if there's single pane windows, we always replace the windows. We almost replace every kitchen, bathroom, everything in the home. We put down high-end planks. We don't put down the little, ones that you get at Home Depot. We don't put in Home Depot cabinets. We put in custom cabinets. So everything we do is on the next level up, and we do the entire home. Average 100 grand, 150,000 is the average remodel that we do. We do get up into the $200,000-300,000. We do get into the $80,000. We just did a condo that was 60,000, but we don't have to do anything on the outside. We're not painting. We're not doing anything. We're just doing the inside. We just gutted it and put it back together, and on that property. But when it comes to the really, like, I have one I'm going to go look at. The guy just called me yesterday and said, well, they have 13 dogs and they have 5 cats, and the dogs have chewed up all the baseboards. And he goes, my eyes watered so bad when I walked in there. So if you think about, if you got a smoker that's been in there for 30 years, if you've got that house, we're going to go in there. We might have to literally take the drywall off and put new drywall on. We're going to have to pull up the floor in those areas where those dogs have been peeing for years, and where they've torn up the place. You might have to, cat spray. You might have to lift up 3 feet on the drywall all around the house just to get that out, so we don't have that smell in there. We do what it takes. And that's one of the differences, I think, when you get into these homes. We're looking at everything. It's a funny expression, but when I smell something, when I walk in a house, I smell money.
I love that smell. I love the smell of money in the morning. Well, that's awesome, Chris. So let's do this. Now let's talk about, they've identified this dog with the most fleas. They make you their first call, at least on speed dial. They reach out to you. What's the next step?
Just get me in the property. That's all you have to do. You get me in the property. I'll walk the property. I will go through. I'll take a video, inside, outside. I'll walk inside, the whole outside of the place. I'm going to take pictures, 5 pictures of every single room that's in the place. And I'm going to take all that, document it. Then I have a spreadsheet. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to look at, does it need a new roof, or is the roof good? Does it need new windows? Are they good? How many windows? Do I need doors? How many doors? I'm going to evaluate the entire property, top to bottom, to find out what it needs, what it looks like. And at that time, I'm going to come up with my pricing. There's only 5 numbers you have to look at when you're really doing renovations. It all starts with the comp. So if you think about, always think about the comp. If it's $1 million I can sell this house for, then I can't pay more than X amount of dollars. But it's not just, I'm going to pay $800,000 for this home, and then I've got $100,000 renovation. I'm into it for $900. I've got another $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in carrying costs and all the other things. When I go to relist it back with you as the agent that brought it to me, I'm going to relist that back with you. Okay, I've got to have the commissions already built into that. So it's not just as simple as, oh, it's a $100,000 rehab and it's a $800,000 sale. So now I got 900. We can sell it for $1 million. There's not $100,000 in there. There might be 50,000 in there. But see, I'm only looking for a 7% return. I'm not looking for that big, gigantic. A lot of these people go out there doing these. They're looking, oh, I got to make 200,000, or I don't want to touch it. Well, then you're crazy, because you're going to have to get it for 600,000, even though it's $1 million house.
Yep.
To be able to get that kind of win.
I think that's funny that you say that, and I want to make sure the agents are listening to this. When he relists it, you find it, he buys it, he renovates it, you relist it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's the way it should be. And your buy box, what I'm hearing too, Chris, is your buy box is not as ridiculous as some of these other cash investors that want to hit a home run every time. You actually have a realistic 7% ROI. That is a very reasonable amount of money to expect in return, not these 20, 30, 40 home runs every single time. We're getting base hits, we're getting on base, and we're winning games.
Yeah, if I can do 20, if I can do 10 a month,
Yeah.
if you think about a 50,000, that's 500 grand coming in. I can go buy another house for the cash that we just made, if you think about it. And remember, there's always your carrying costs. There's all the costs and closing costs and everything.
Mhm.
So if we write the deal and we use our vendors and our friends and people, whoever we deal with, we'll pay the closing costs. So the seller doesn't even have a closing cost.
Yeah. It's all net to the seller.
Yeah, more money back into the seller's pocket.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to selling properties, we always relist it with the agent that brought it to us. But think about this. Not only are you getting the best house on that market, wherever it is, it's like a brand new house.
Mm-hmm.
If you bought a brand new house versus a home that, the toilet's still not working right, you got, you sit on it, the toilet seat's loose after a week in the house, things like that. These are brand new toilets, they're brand new shower, brand new doors, brand new kitchen, brand new appliances. I mean, everything is new. So when you get that house, it's easy to sell because we're not looking to say, oh, we just put all this money in it, so we want to get 20% higher than what the going rate is. We go with the going rate. 90% of the time, we're getting multiple offers in the first 2 days. And so that property sells.
Yeah.
You're the one that's selling it. So you're getting not only the front end, but the back end.
Yeah, no, I dig that. I think the biggest thing is your buy box. Let's give us an idea, like paint a picture for us of what your perfect home looks like. Like something if you go, oh my God, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in a community, no HOA, it's got an acre. Oh my God, it's this. Tell me what that house looks like.
So here's a couple things to think about. When you're out doing a purchase, are the renters in there? That's like a huge red flag because I've got to evict them. And how long does it take to evict people? What if they decide to be squatters and they don't want to go and they're going to fight you? Could tie up your money for 6 months.
So vacant.
So I'm very cautious, careful on who's in there.
Mm-hmm.
We'll even get properties that it's the father and he says, "Oh, my daughter lives there. You got to evict her." It's like we'll team up with you and we'll get that done. And I've had a property that cost us $44,000 to get out of it because they wouldn't get out. I've had, sometimes it's like, hey, we'll just write you a check for 10 grand, get out. That happens sometimes.
Cash for keys. I love it.
Yeah. Cash for keys, but you got to really know your market. If it's vacant, best thing ever, because you can just get in, get out. You can go in as often as you want. You can evaluate the property over. Traditionally, here's how the buy box looks: up to $1.5 million, not more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to put more than $1.5 million into a project. Our average time on the market, what do you think our average time is on the market? Buy to sell.
I would say my average is 14. What's yours?
4 months.
4 months.
4 months.
So that's what you're looking for is for properties on the market for 4 months?
No. Buy the property.
Yeah.
Close. Renovate.
Got
put it back on the market. Sell it.
So 4 months is actually that's moving right along.
It was moving along. It was 3 months a year ago.
Yeah.
But it's slowed down a little bit. There aren't as many buyers buying, but the good news is these are the properties that are the nicest properties on the market. Yeah. Again, we're not using Home Depot cabinets. We're using luxury planks. We're not putting down just anything on the floors. We're using really good retrofit double pane windows. So when you get the house, it's like a brand new house.
Yeah. So that's
our guy, our general contractor the other day. It was funny. We were sitting there and he goes, "Oh, we had to get a property on the market right away." He goes, "The exact same faucet." He goes, "I buy them through Amazon. Believe it or not." He goes, "I buy them through Amazon and I have the faucet go. It's $100 through Amazon. I had to go to Home Depot. It was $300.
Wow.
To buy it at Home Depot. The exact same thing."
Wow.
He goes, "It's just, you have to watch your pricing and how you compare your pricing and what you do. That's really important." So that remodel, even though I say it's $100,000 remodel, you got to figure your kitchen, just the demo to demo an entire house and haul that off is 10 grand.
Yeah.
And if you've got a hoarder or storage or people that just left all the backyard full of stuff and everything. Plus, we do all of the landscaping. So everything is done from the landscaping. We're putting in privacy fences on almost every single home. So if you think about when you get to that home, it's the nicest home on the market. And for all of those realtors that are out there that say, you got the best property on the market to sell, and that market, we're not marking it up ridiculous. A lot of times we're getting multiple offers higher than the selling price because people want that property because it's so nice.
They want turnkey. I do know this. Anytime I have a home that's, for one of my investors, that the home's dialed in, I do know that people enjoy coming to that. If nothing else, even if they're not buying, you drive a lot of traffic to new construction, or not new construction, but remodeled homes like that, really done nicely, not the lipstick on the pig like we talked about that's out there, but an actual nicely done remodel. As an agent, you're holding those open houses, you're marketing those properties on social. You've got a great product, and you are guilty by association. Others want to come see it. Others want to be it. They're always calling you. My investors call me all the time. So this is great, Chris. So 4 months from the time you identify it to you close, to you renovate, to you pop it back on the market until you close, that's about 4 months.
You're not really identifying it. It's pretty much when the offer is accepted and we're closing escrow.
Yeah, got it. So once you go into contract,
once it's into contract, then we close that deal. That's where that 4 months comes. That's our average today. It was, like I said, it was 3 months just a year ago. So
you top in appliances, top in finishes. That's awesome. So my question is, now, are you just in San Diego? What's your market?
Okay, so we started talking about the buy box, and we started talking about what's the ideal home and what are we really looking at. And when you're looking at these, obviously vacant's the best. If it's a homeowner and they're selling it and they know they need to get out and they're going to have so much time, and that we'll get that variation figured out. Remember, we're the end buyer. We're not the middle guy. There's a lot of wholesalers. There's a lot of people that come in and try to tie up a property, and then they put it on the market to make their little, pound of flesh in the middle. And so they're out there trying to wholesale a property, and they're tying up people's properties. And so a home seller, they got to know we're the end product. We're going to write the check. Here you go. 3 to 5 to 10 days, we're going to close escrow. And people freak out because they're like, how's this? No contingencies. We're closing escrow and boom, it's done that quick. That's what we do. And so a lot of times there's a middle person. A lot of times we'll get the middle person that comes back. I'll go out and evaluate 50 properties in a month, and I'll look at them all. I might get one, I might get three. But then what happens is, from last month when I looked at 50, a couple of those come back around because people tied them up. And here's the problem with a lot of investors, and for any of you in real estate that's out there to look for, is that people will come in and say, oh, I'm an investor. And they're going to, like, I wrote a deal the other day. It was $1,100,000 or $1,010,000. And the guy that got the property came in at $1.1 million. So we were 90,000 under what their asking price was, but they had contingencies and an inspection involved. As soon as the inspection got done, oh, well, we need you to drop the price $100,000 because we found this, we found that, we found this. And instead of them, now they've been tied up for 3 weeks and they got inspections, and now they're getting bartered with. And so that client comes back to us and goes, can you still close in 5 days at this price? And we'll say, yeah. And so boom, we get that deal. So those come around pretty often. That's kind of like the ones that we looked at 3 months ago, the ones we looked at 2 months ago, and somebody tied it up, but they didn't perform. Or they thought, oh, I'm going to get a conventional loan. And it doesn't quite work like that. If you're rehabbing and going through, a lot of times you're going to use hard money. And if you're new to getting into renovating, hard money is a little more difficult sometimes to go through. If you don't have, like, we have two things. We have cash, so I can close in 5 days, like, no problem. I can just write a check about, here you go. Or we'll get to our hard money lender, might be 3 or 4 days to get that money if we want to use it. But we're working with Goldman Sachs, and we have lines of credit for 30 million. And so whereas we can just write a check and go, here you go. And we might be at 8%, but as the new person coming in, they might have a point or two on the backside with that hard money lender the first time go around, and they might have 10 to 11% interest. So you got to really do your homework before you go in there and figure out the money, follow the chain of what is the comp in the area. You really got to understand all of that before you go into this. And if you're really looking to do renovations, how much are you going to do? If I'm going to looking to do lipstick on a pig, I want to get in and out for 30 grand, 20 grand. I want to get in and out. I want to flip the home and just get out of it. Or do I want to, like what we do at Renovate, we do the full thing. We do the whole property. And that's what we're looking for. And so we get our clients are all you investors that are out there that say, hey, this one's way over my skis. I want to get in there. Or it's like, hey, Chris, I'm a real estate agent. I found one that looks like it's right up your alley. Can you come and look at it? We're partners now because you're going to get paid on the front end and then you're going to get paid on the back end. And so we're going to partner on that particular property. So think of me as a buyer in your pocket in everywhere you go.
Amen. I love that, man. That's nothing like having 30 mil at my
Yeah.
disposal, right?
Yeah.
And I like this. And the reason why I wanted to have you on is because you have so much great information. But we're realtors, guys. We're out there reaching out to FSBOs, expireds, pre-foreclosure. Heck, there's people in my database that have houses that would be perfect for this. Now, remember, not all of them. Chris said a really important number. He may call 50 or go see 50 properties, and he only may get one, may get three. But guess what? It's a numbers game because the month that he saw last month, people are starting to come around. Just like in real estate, guys, we need to reach out to the FSBOs expires, the lowest hanging fruit on the seller tree, and make Chris and put Chris in your speed dial. Check it out. Walk him through. It's a fantastic way to rock and roll. So, Chris, what other properties are you thinking? Single family? Do you stay away from condos? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so here's the thing. If it's downtown San Diego and it has $1,600 homeowners association on a 1,000 square foot condo, not what I want. I don't want to get into that. I'm not really looking for a lot of homeowners association fees and properties that are in that arena because that just adds to it. As funny as it's going to sound, even sometimes, like I'm looking at a property right now. Oh, the solar's $250 that we pay to XYZ solar company a month. And that's for the next 20 years. And that goes up at 3.5%. So that's going to be a $500 bill to whoever's going to come back in and buy that, even though they're going to save on their electricity. So I got to take that even in when my four months I'm holding that. That's $800 to $1,000 more I've got to add because I got to still pay that bill that we own that property. So things like that. There's all these little things you got to think about. Now, our buy box, back to no more than $1.5 million. We're traditionally, I don't know, 600 to $1 million all day long. All day long, we're writing as many of those as we can. So if it's a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom, it doesn't matter. If it's a condo, we did a condo the other day. We literally turned it. And Robert, are you ready for this? We started, closed that deal in 5 days, renovated it in 11 days, and sold it on day 12.
Wow.
It literally went less than a month. We got it, sold it, turned it, and we only made like $30,000 profit. But still, we didn't have all the outside and the roof and the paint on the outside. It was just going in, gutting it, putting it together, and we're done. And it worked out really, really well.
And you still did a nice job doing it, and that's why it looks good, man.
Yeah.
So vacant land, like any vacant land, or are
Don't
you
really
building
do
spec
vacant
homes at all?
Well, here, think of this, guys. So when you're out there, what is the most important thing with your money? That it's moving.
Yeah.
It's got to be moving. If it's sitting, it's not doing you any justice whatsoever.
Yeah.
So if I buy vacant land, what am I going to do with that?
Well,
I'm going to go get permits and for a year or build a house for another year. I'm holding up my money for 2 years. If I need to get a permit, I don't want it.
Yeah. Got it.
If I could hold off, we'll get it. We'll do it where we got to scissor in. We're going to blow out this wall and get rid of that, the load bearing wall. And we're going to open up the kitchen and, make it a bigger open area. We're going to replace a electric panel, which a lot of times that's a real pain in the keister because I don't know about all you and where all you live, but SDG&E is like molasses in the winter. And I don't know, guys, it is so slow getting anything done with them. Even
Yeah.
if you have an overhang and it's their express metering, 4 months to
Wow.
even get the permission to be able to even do the thing and go through it. 6 to 8 months if you're going to do on the other. It slows down the product. And what does that do to your money? Your money sits. So
Yeah.
you can't have money sitting. You got to think about, you want to be churning your properties. And so when you bring me a property, we're going to do it as quick as we can, and it's going to be super professional done and beautiful when we're done. It's going to be the nicest house, like brand new in the neighborhood. You're going to relist it and sell it. So if you think about, maybe in 2 months, you're going to get that property right back to sell.
I love it. Hey, we got a question from Lawrence King, Coach Lawrence King. I saw a question I wanted to get in there because I'm sure it's relating to what he just went over. Lawrence, what do you got?
Absolutely. Thank you, Robert. Question for you, Chris. So do you do any buy and hold? I know you do a lot of fix and flips, but do you do any buy and hold? And I got a feeling that the answer is no.
Yeah, answer, you are 100% correct, because I tell you, Lawrence, the whole idea is that 7%. It really is. It's
So
just making
your
money.
margin, your meat is always 7%.
Well, 7, 8, we're not
Okay.
looking for 20, that
Right. Okay.
we're not trying to do that. And that's, so if you think about us, we're quick. We get in, we get it done. Our money's quick. We close quick. No contingencies. We have the cash. So we go in, we have 3 construction crews that are ours,
Okay.
one big general manager that oversees all of them. He goes in and he'll come in right behind me. When I come and evaluate one of your properties, I'm going to go through it all. And then the only thing I need to do before we actually close the transaction is I bring him in, put his eyes on it to see if I missed anything. And if you think about what I've seen, over 1,000 properties
Right.
on this arena, I've done hundreds of renovations, and I've done, some, and I even got to the point where I was buying them myself. I would buy them, I'd go in and tear them apart, but I was doing more depth on them when I was doing it. I had the company called RTS, which was Ready to Sell.
Ready.
That was
Okay.
my company I had. I had RTS. I would buy them. I'd go in. I lost my shorts on 3 properties because I went into a bathroom and I started pulling the stuff out and the floor fell through. And when I got looked down, all the pipes down there were all rotted.
No, I hate
And that's
those.
what I was going to ask you. Are you looking at capital expenditures when you first do the walk up front? Are you looking at some of the CapEx, the roof, the plumbing, the electrical, and all that good stuff?
Yeah, we look at everything.
Okay.
Everything. If it's a 100-year-old home, the electrical is going to be shot. We need to do something in there. We know the electric panel. I'm looking at whatever it needs. It has an old Zinsco panel. I got to upgrade that. There's just nothing we can do to get around that. It's a fire hazard, and we can't upgrade and can't do the things we need to do without it. So yeah, I look at everything. I go through, and when I'm taking all those pictures and evaluating a home, I just put in there, air conditioning unit needs $5,000, needs $5,000 for a new
Yeah.
electric panel, needs, and I'll go through, needs a new roof, 18,000, needs, I'll just have, I have a really solid checklist, everything on square footage. And if I need all new baseboards, click. If I need to take out popcorn ceilings, click. I have everything built into a program that we developed.
Right.
And
Okay.
so I get a really good idea and understanding. So if you have a property, you want me to come look at it, I just go through, snap, 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 videotape, go in, go home, throw in some numbers, and I'll go, here's what we'll offer. And
Awesome.
it's based on, what is that comp though? Remember that. It's always based on what's the comps going in the area today, not last year, not the year before. I had one gal, realtor, God bless all you realtors, but I had a gal, well, we had that comped at 900 2 years ago. Like, well, what do you
Hey, I
expect?
know that agent. I know that agent. Speaking of that, Kathy Ryan's got a quick question. Coach Kathy Ryan, our cash offers coach. Kathy Ryan, you got a question?
Yeah, I do. So I've been working with the NODs lately. I had 5 out of 20 that are now short sales. Do you work with short sales, or do you want to avoid them?
100%.
Okay. All right.
Short
And
sales, probates, bankruptcy. I mean, you name it, we'll work with it. We'll figure it out.
okay. Awesome. And then, do you work in the Inland Empire? Because that's where I'm at.
I will go to Inland Empire if the deal's right, if it makes a lot of sense. And I can, I can look at a property, and a lot of times you as the agent, you'll have a bunch of pictures in there. I can evaluate by looking at your pictures if I want to come up and take a look at the property. If it
Okay.
kind of fits and makes sense for us in our little buy boxes, we talk about it. And really it's anything that, the more beat up it is, the more I like it,
Mhm.
because the less people are going to want that property.
Oh, I
So
come across those a lot.
cool.
Yeah, yeah, we
A lot.
certainly do. We certainly do. Yeah, so I tell you the buy box. Let's continue that conversation, Chris. And we talked about we don't do vacant land because obviously that's an extreme holding cost, but short sales, mwah, I love them because you don't do anything until you actually go under contract and
Yeah.
close. So the party doesn't start. It just takes a little longer to get to the dance. So now that's okay. We don't do, is it single family preferred? Condos, if it makes sense. Do you stay
Condos,
away from
duplex,
manufactured stuff
duplex,
like that?
fourplex. I'll do anything into a fourplex, duplex, condo. I don't want to have homeowners association dues if we can avoid them. I prefer not to have renters in there, because that holds up, eviction processes.
Sure.
We'll do it, but it has to make sense,
Yep.
and it's a conversation. Um,
Another
so,
question.
yeah.
55 plus neighborhoods.
Yeah, I'll do a 55. That
Okay.
doesn't scare me at all. I mean, I like older. I'm old. I like older people.
Oh, that's funny. I think we're all related there, brother.
Yeah.
So manufactured homes, mobile homes, you kind of stay away from those kinds of things, I bet.
Yeah, manufactured mobile homes, anything that's removable, or I mean, we did a mobile home, but boy, you got to get it for like 10 cents. And then a remodel is, a lot of those things are just
Yeah.
not,
Well, yeah, I get it. That makes sense because I always like to make sure that people that are listening to this going, I want to hear what they're, hey, I have a property that looks like, so I want to make sure that I give Chris a call right away. I would recommend that everybody saves Chris's number in your phone as your top priority when you have a property that's banged up. Even name it, call it banged up Chris Heermans. I tell you what, Chris, what else can you tell us? Let's do this. What's the message that we want to say to maybe a newer agent that's just getting started, doesn't really know much about, so they're just getting going in the real estate business? I do a lot of EXP mentorship, and these a lot of new agents that aren't maybe not experienced enough. What do we want to say to the new agent to get them employed and going look properties for you?
Well, that's that you just said it yourself right there. It's they're new, they don't have anything. If your business is slow,
Yep.
look for properties. I'm your built-in buyer. I
Yeah.
mean, you have already a buyer in your pocket, even though it's not your friend or somebody that's looking for a specific thing. You have a built-in buyer in your pocket that's looking for everything. And it's a certain, single family residence, torn up, the better, I mean, if it's got issues, no matter what those issues, traditionally I'm your guy. But really, if you're getting started or business is slow, just start bringing me properties and we'll work together. Because then not only do you get a sale, you get a listing.
Yeah.
And then it just builds momentum. So
Sure. Yeah.
I'm kind of a go-to for everybody. And I'm one that, we have cash, we're the end buyer, we're no contingencies. So think about those things. Those are the things that are really important. There's a lot of people that say, oh, I'm an investor or I'm a wholesaler and I'm looking to buy property. Well, how are they going to tie it up? The wholesaler's tying up the property to sell it to me. Think about that. They're the middle guy. We're the end guy. We're not a middle person. And so it's the real deal. We come in, we buy it, we close it, we fix it, we sell it. It's as simple as that.
I love it, brother. I tell you, man, we've covered a lot of stuff. Anything in closing, Chris, that maybe we didn't cover as we get to the top of the hour? Any message you'd like to say to the agents that are listening today here, that are maybe going to listen to it on our podcast, or any message you want to say to the agents in closing?
Boy, there's so many things I want to say. So actually Renovate as a company, we've been around since that 2009. It was Rock then; it was called Rock Renovate, and now it's called Renovate San Diego. But Memo is the owner of Renovate, same guy, great guy. And Renovate is a solid company, great reputation, and we're the company to go to for all your needs. When it comes to selling a property, we're your guy. You know, we're your company to come to. When you're going to buy a property, if you're looking to get out there and do it, if you really said, "Hey, Chris, can you come help me evaluate a property?" If you're going to work with me and you need that, I would even do that for you. I'd even be a little bit of helpful. I had another agent call me up and said, "I'm thinking I'm buying this property. I'm not sure, but he's brought me a couple properties and we got them." I said, "How about I'll just come out and evaluate? It won't cost you anything, and I'll tell you what it would be, and then I'll help you with your figure out what your numbers are." Because if you think about the numbers, guys, what's involved? I have an asking price. I have the comp, the selling price. I have a profit margin. I have my renovations. I have the offer that we're going to put in, and then what all the closing costs and everything are. So there's 6 numbers that get involved in everything that we do. Really, the asking price doesn't really matter because it's how much can I sell it for, and then reverse out, everything out of that. So it's really all about just making sure your numbers fit. And we're not looking for the big home run. We're just looking for a first base hit every single time.
I
And
love it.
anybody that can bring me transactions and help, guys, I'm here for you.
Well, I love it, Chris. Do you have you want to drop your information in the chat box so these folks can get to you? But also, Chris, I'll be emailing it out to everybody. So
Okay.
if you don't have it handy, I know you've been running and gunning, man.
Yeah.
I tell you, it is great, great, great catching up with you. We go way back, that is for sure. And I just thought it was important that we got each other a conversation, and I wanted to share it with the world, brother.
I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to come join us. If you ever have questions, you ever want to talk, you just, my number. I guess Robert, we'll put it up there here, and
I'll share your information, brother. So don't worry. Chris Heermans, thanks for jumping on today. Coach Kathy Ryan, Coach Lawrence King, and all the other folks that are on here. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you, Chris.
And you guys
Thank you,
have a
brother.
great day.
Thank
And
you, Robert.
remember, the More Listings Mastermind every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Go to morenowlistings.com. And you guys, you know what? We'll see you in escrow.
yeah.